Okay, let's cut that short. That was nice and all. That was cool and everything, but like, look, I don't wanna get demonetized. You know what I'm saying? I don't wanna get demonetized. I like money. I want money. I want to be rich. This is a continuation of a previous video, but if you happen upon this video without context, here it is. I'm talking about cool music in movies. That's about it. I don't think I made up the term needle drop, but basically what it means is like, you know, when the needle, like on a record player, when it drops, you know, like a needle dropping. Not like the needle drop, not that guy, but like a, you know, like a drop, like when the needle drops. You get. Basically what it means is a licensed song or like a copyrighted original work being reused in a film in the place of an original score for said film. So like, think Immigrant Song in Thor Ragnarok, or Most Music in the Guardians of the Galaxy films. Guardians of the Galaxy is actually a good example to kick this video off, because it uses the needle drop phenomenon as a tool to represent one of the characters. You see, Peter Quill, the main guy, listens to music on these cassette tapes that he's had since he was a little kid. And it's pretty much the only music he listens to. He doesn't know of any other music besides like the 20 songs that he keeps playing in circulation for, 30 years of his lifetime. Basically, he's just trying to retreat into this facade of niceness that he no longer can maintain in the present world, and he does that through old music, and that old music is used as a soundtrack. It's nice. It's a simple but effective usage of the needle drop. And it also shows that he's cool because he listens to George Harrison. Using a needle drop to comment on a situation or bring a layer to it that wouldn't otherwise be there is also quite smart. It's not like you can write a song specifically about your movie with lyrics specifically about your story, right? I mean, it's not like that's an entire genre or something, right? Here's the first instance of a long tangent about one particular thing or guy or something. The thing about Wes Anderson, the filmmaker, is that he has a very infamous style. He's very calculated in his approach to how he makes movies. You know, he's very about the pastel colors, the symmetrical camera angles, the idiosyncratic dialogue.
It's not yours yet, Dimitri. Only when probate is granted and the deed of entitlement is
You're not getting boy with apple, you goddamn little fruit.
How's that supposed to make me feel?
Call the police!
It all very much feels like a toy set or a strange fever dream where someone dropped you off in what you imagine the 60s were probably like. It's that sort of thing. Wes Anderson's style is very concise, and he rigidly sticks to it no matter what the subject matter of a movie is. And oftentimes I feel that it hinders the gravity of the story. Consider what I started this whole section off with, the Royal Tenenbaums. In the scene I'm showing, the character, I think his name is Royal Tenenbaum, doesn't really matter. Richie Tenenbaum attempts suicide. Now, this is very clear from the beginning of the scene, and not because he says it outright. He does say that later in the scene, though. But at the very beginning of the scene, we are introduced to one of my favorite needle drops ever, which would be... Wes Anderson understands that his visual style alone cannot portray accurately what is being felt on screen, so he clues us in before the event even occurs with this song. Wes Anderson truly is a cool guy. Needle drops can also be used really well for a tonal switch-up, or just something that's completely jarring and out of nowhere. There's two I want to talk about, and one of them's pretty famous, and the other one I don't know, because I don't engage in film criticism that much. The first one, and I know everybody knows I was going to bring up this guy at some point, so here we go. And it's Quentin, the guy who directed all the movies you've been watching all these years. In his famous movie Once Upon a Time in Pulp Fiction, he plays the song Stealers Wheels... He plays the song Stuck in the Middle with You by a band that played the song at some point. It's a song, it's a pop song, not pop, I don't know. Anyways, it's a goofy song, and the point is, he plays it while a guy is being tortured, and it's like, whoa, this guy must be a maniac, and that's kind of the whole point, and it's this crazy subversion that's legitimately really cool and all that, and it's a great movie, and you should go watch it. Go watch Pulp Dogs, whatever I said, I don't know, I forgot. Tarantino, everybody. The second film is the French film Beau Travail, and that's not how you pronounce it, but I did not look up how to pronounce it before the segment, so French people forgive me. And it's extremely art house, you can tell. A lot of long, lengthy shots, a lot of scenes where nothing of note really happens, very loose plot if there's any plot to even speak of. But then, at the very end, the film implies that the character kills himself with the shot I'm currently showing, because the real ending does not need or want to show us that, and we don't want to see that. Instead, it shows us the last moment of happiness he felt in his life. And after all these quiet, long, poetic shots and explorations of the landscape and all that, we are treated to a credit sequence where Rhythm of the Night plays, and it's just incredible. Good stuff. The film that sparked this video idea, and the one that's probably most potent out of any of these, emotionally, is none other than last year's Aftersun follows a father and daughter duo going on vacation, feeling very estranged from one another upon the father's divorce from the daughter's mother. It's a very not fun film. The most striking thing about this film is its structure. It is a slowly paced guide through the decaying memories of a person we know little to nothing about, the only physical remnants of said memories living on in the form of equally decayed VHS tapes. It has this droning score, one so soothing that at one point it effortlessly becomes the crashing of these ocean waves without ever hearing the transition. But I don't want to talk about that. See, this film cultivates such an odd and intense feeling of foreboding. You see these happy moments on a vacation, quietly soured by Sophie commenting on her father's financial struggles, or his inability to make his daughter happy the way he wishes he could.
You know I didn't see you throw it.
Throw what?
The mask. I know it was expensive.
It's this crushing emotion, one paralleled in this metaphorical rave we see interspersed within the primary story. Through flashing imagery, we see an adult Sophie struggling to reach her father, who blindly dances on as she tries fruitlessly to make contact. The film expertly develops an anticipation for something awful to occur. You can feel it in your bones that the offhanded visions of Callum lingering on his potential suicide will become a reality, or something along those lines will happen. And while it is very likely this does happen at some point in their story, it isn't shown in the film, and it's not what the film wants to show you. Instead, the film shows you this.
What? Come on. Ready? Let's dance. Hands.
The song you are hearing, as you may or may not be aware of, is Under Pressure, written and performed by David Bowie and Queen. It is, and you may be aware of this as well, famously very good and cool. This overwhelming buildup of emotion spirals into an explosive firework display, wherein these two shed their plethora of assorted issues in favor of showing how much they unabashedly adore one another. That at the end of the day, Sophie loves her father more than he could ever realize, and he loves her more than she could ever realize. And while this fleeting moment of bliss may be just that, it does not abolish the meaning of the moment. Possibly one of the coolest things I've seen in a while happens here, where the original music of the song is removed and the vocals are stamped on the droning soundtrack, morphing it into an entirely different entity from its original pop sound. So, I think the point I was making is that David Bowie's really cool, but also needle drops are just really fascinating. It's always nice to hear a song you recognize in a movie you're watching, and chances are it'll make you like that movie more than you previously did. Or maybe it'll make you absolutely hate it because, you know, Scorsese keeps playing the same Rolling Stones song over and over. Please stop it, Scorsese. I know they're a good band, okay? Jeez. Anyways, enjoy yourselves out there in the world, wherever you are, and watch movies, listen to music, you know, be a cool guy, and bye-bye, see ya.